Hey guys, I'm back with a very quick episode here of Climbing the Ladder, and it's a quick episode today because I am going to record this video right before traveling. Yeah, I'm gonna be traveling. As you guys can tell, I've put my hand in the dryer because need to look good for your trips. Always need to do that. And yeah, so today's a really quick episode. I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. So the reason I'm recording is just so I can get some content in so that you guys aren't left empty-handed. So let's play an old Sicilian this time. I'm going to be playing an old Sicilian. And against this attack, which is super common at this rating, is e6. So basically the idea of you playing bishop c4 is you hit this f7 square and e6 completely neutralizes this because now you're very secure here. And this is kind of like a sideline. So this is a mixture of the Bodil attack with the Alapin, and they want to play d4 straight away. So what would be the best way to play this line according to principles? Well, the first thing you can do is break open in the center with d5. If we get the chance to play d5 in the Sicilian, that's really good. And we can also allow white to have the full center by allowing d4. We could play e5 and shut down the position, but I don't really like the idea of opening up my my f7 square to his bishop. So, you know what? I think the most principled way to play this is maybe even playing knight here. Let's just calculate here. So knight here, the pawn's under attack. If he pushes, then we'll play knight g4. We're threatening the pawn twice, and then after d4, there'll be take, and it looks secure. So the pawn does look secure. So the option we're kind of left is, let's think. We can go a6 and b5. We can go d5 straight away. So let's actually go for d5 and take control of the center. This is looking good. And also something else that's special about today is actually my birthday. So today I am 24 years old. So yeah, let me know in the comments if I look 24 because I have a feeling that I don't look 24. And you guys probably didn't guess I was 24. Okay. So our opponent is offline. Hopefully he comes back. It would be such a shame to have an episode where I play only like 4 moves and then the game ends. You know, sometimes the games are like that. Sometimes we just find opponents who aren't really in the mood to play actual chess and they'll just leave on move 4. That happens as well, so at least it illustrates the actuality of what climbing the ladder looks like, because you will get these games. It's just unfortunate that this is going to be an episode probably. Really unfortunate. I would have liked to have a better game. Yeah, so I can claim victory now, which I really don't want to do. Hopefully he comes back. And if he doesn't come back in like a minute, probably, you know what, I might just play another game. We'll see how it goes. You know what? Since the last game was a game of black, I think I will just claim victory here. And we'll play another game. Okay. So I'm not going to analyze that one because I won't have time to. Like I said, it has to be a quick game. And we see is this the grub? I think it's the grub. Okay, so how's play against this? First of all, I like starting off with d5. I noticed that if your opening isn't e4, it's going to be a d4 type of position. It's going to be more positional. So keep that in mind. And it's the same thing of c4. Let's say if they play c4. Also, this is a d4 game, so need to keep that in mind. So what's happening here is my bishop's attacking this pawn. And what usually happens is when this bishop comes out too early, it gives them the chance to play this c4 push. And then the idea is we can't take the pawn, because if we do take, then he takes on b7, and then our rook is trapped. So that's not going to be happy times. What we can do though is play something like bishop takes, c4, and then reinforce this pawn with like c6. But then other tactics arise, like the queen coming out early, and this can get a bit messy. Like, let's just say queen c4 happens, and then this is lined up, this is lined up. So with the theme of just avoiding these complications, what we might just play is either c6 or e5. I haven't really decided yet. I think these are good options. So let me just give a final calculation to bishop takes. So bishop takes, c4, c6, let's say queen a4, bishop drops back. Is this okay? And then we would have probably pawn takes attacking the queen. Queen would move, let's just say b3, attacking our pawn on c7, attacking this pawn twice as well on d5. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. So I will just play c6, which is a reinforcing move. I'm reinforcing this pawn chain here. So I think this is a good enough move. Typically, my philosophy is, if my opponent's going to offer a gambit, the best way to refute a gambit is to accept it. And if you look at, well, he wants to go back. I'm not sure why he would want to go back. Maybe he wants to play d4. So I will give him the chance to go back. I don't think c4 was a terrible move, but okay. So he reinforces the pawn, which is unfortunate because he completely changed up his idea. And in my opinion, if you play a move which you didn't want to play, like, okay, if you make like a misclick, you wanted d4 but you play c4, like that's fine to take back. But if you want to play a completely different move, then personally, just don't offer a take back. That is the way I see chess. Okay, so if I develop this knight, there's not going to be any pushes because of knight here, takes, and then he's lost his very good bishop. So I might just play this. Hoping to induce a mistake. I could play e6 and get into a kind of like semi-Slav position, which could also be good here since he has no sense of control. Yeah, let's start off with e6. So we're intentionally blocking this bishop in, but the bishop was already kind of limited because if you think about it, there's not really any good squares to develop the bishop. e6 doesn't make much sense, f5 is covered, d7 is a good development, but we're not sure we're going to play that just yet. So we do have some very simple development ideas, like let's just say knight here, this knight comes here, bishop d6, and then we can try and play something like b6, bishop b7, expand here, and take it from there. Okay, and now he is posing a question. Should we push forwards and control more center? Or should we just maintain the position? I'm now seeing that if I push this, then this pawn pushes forwards. If we go here, then take, he wins the pawn. Then we pick up this pawn. There may be some d5 ideas. So I'm not too sure about that. Let's just start off with a very innocent bishop to d6. And I think bishop d6 is a fine move because it's developing our king side, which will allow us to castle soon if we wish to castle on the king side. And he goes ahead and breaks open with e4. Okay, so if we take this pawn, we weaken our position a bit. But we can't take this because of this, so that looks kind of nasty already. We can play this move because there is no push now because bishop is covering. We could play something like knight to d7. And if we go here, push, take, then in this line I think it will be good. So let's just play this move, because it's now threatening this. If we can play take, I think this would be a big improvement to the position. We could consider playing take as well. Take, 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 take. And I'm not sure I want to castle kingside this game. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's just see how he develops. We're kind of stopping him from playing knight to f3 this way, because if he plays knight f3, this pawn is defended only once, and we can capture it with a threat on the knight. However, knight g4 then comes in, and he will regain the pawn, so maybe knight takes would be best here. Okay, he takes us, which is not a good move. And we have a choice now. We can either play e takes, or we can play c takes. So we need to weigh the pros and cons of each move. So if we play c takes, what has happened in the position? Well, we've opened up the c file, which is okay. And I'm not too thrilled about this move because we don't really have much play here. We can bring a rook here in the future, but that's pretty long term. And I think given the situation of his king being very weak, the better move would be to play e takes, because by playing e takes, we have now opened up the e file. We are ready to castle now. We've got queen e7 check in the mix, and this just looks like a really good position. If he goes something like queen to e2 check, we've got bishop e6 blocking. And another trump of e takes is that this bishop here, which is supposed to be his best piece, is now blocked in because of our pawns. So it's kind of like we're playing checkers, and you can't double take on the you can't take pawns which are double, like, or what would you call the piece in checkers? Yeah, I'm not gonna take back. I'm not gonna allow this because again, he has shown bad intent in my mind by playing a completely different move from a take back. So let's just continue castling with our plan. We've got this move coming up, and we'll take it from here. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, what's the piece called in checkers? I really don't know. It's definitely not a pawn. But you can imagine like this being checkers, and then these two being stacked, and then if there's a piece here, then of course you can't take like this. So it's the same thing with this bishop. This bishop is very much blocked in. Okay, and he goes ahead with g4, which is really aggressive, but I don't think he's correct in doing so, because first of all, I've got rook e8 check, gaining a tempo, and g4 is now severely weakened, and his king is not castled. This is the #1 problem with this racing. People will just not want to castle. They feel it's like a waste of time, but it couldn't be further from that. It is absolutely fundamental to castle your king. Absolutely fundamental. Our knight's attacked. We have to jump it. Let's play knight e4, jumping in the position. We've got takes, forcing takes, which is creating a weakness in these pawns. But again, I don't think that's the theme. We're definitely going to play takes like this and try and break through. This bishop is still very limited. Is there a way to attack this g4 pawn? We shall see. Okay, that makes sense. What I'm noticing here is we may have some tactics here. So he's attacking our pawn twice. We need to do something about this. We don't have bishop f5, but since he hasn't castled, we may just have this move. And the reason I think this is a very good move is because if he takes with the bishop, we can then play either rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes with check, or we can play after bishop takes, and then if he goes pawn takes, then rook takes with check as well. And then it's just a matter of finding the best continuation. So let's actually start considering this. Okay, he's played it. Now we need to think. Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes check, king f1, queen takes, looks good. He's got major weaknesses on the board. But do we need to give up an exchange? I'm not sure we do. Maybe it's best to have a rook. So takes, 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 king f1. takes. The dark squares do look very weak though. Okay. I can also just play queen takes, which does look a bit dubious because he will have castles then. And then we do have to play rook takes. Let's just play this takes. Just for simplicity's sake. His position is really bad. I don't think there's any need to do anything extravagant here. We're at the point where we can comfortably play just good moves, not having to play the best moves in the position and still be very okay. King f2 is not a good move, by the way, because after takes we defend the rook and we're threatening this capture. Okay, that's probably the best move. Let's just play, again, good moves. You don't have to find the best moves, you don't have to find brilliancies, you just have to play simple moves that make an improvement to the position. So, what would be an improving move here? Developing the knight like this, developing the bishop with maybe some checking ideas, which looks really good, and then bringing the rook out, something along these lines, and this looks pretty promising. I am liking bishop here into check, forcing the king over here. Then we may have something like takes, and this is not a good move, because I've mentioned in the past, this is now defending the rook, and the king has to move back because it's check. So, okay. We don't have this capture yet. I'm not sure now about bishop here because it's not with check, although we can play this move and threaten this bishop, which is now pinned. So, yeah, I'm liking this move. We'll play here just for simplicity's sake. He doesn't have any queen trade, which he'd love to find. He'd love to find the queen trade on these squares, but unfortunately for him, these are covered. And yeah, bishop d5 looking like a snack right now. Can't lie. And this is incoming. This is very powerful as well. Okay, that makes sense. So he's defending the bishop. We can just play here and add some more pressure. He's looking for a queen trade on f2. But if he goes queen f2, we may just have take, 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 king here, and we convert to a winning endgame. So this I'm liking a lot. Let's just go for this. And again, to win chess games, you don't need to find some crazy combinations. You don't need to find like crazy brilliant checkmates. You can even convert the position to a winning endgame, which is kind of what my playstyle revolves around. So yeah, he finds this move. We can also maybe try... No. Let's just keep it simple. And go for a simple conversion. Check, we pick up this pawn, and then plus 5 points of material in an endgame is definitely enough to win. And again, all we're doing now is playing principled moves. Like, for example, we have back rank problems, so the knight developing is very good because it develops, and at the same time, okay, this is a very natural move. Yeah, I'll play this one. He will double up. I will play h6 or g6. Probably g6 in this case. Okay, he doesn't double up, which gives us some time to breathe. Let's just play this pawn push, which completely stops his pawn advances. Now this pawn can't advance. This pawn can't advance because it makes this a backwards pawn with no future. He does have this, which is a pawn sacrifice, but I think I can just take and I'll be okay. Okay, let's resolve our back rank problems. He will attack that pawn, which is okay. We might just give up the pawn and play something like knight over here, attacking this pawn. I think this looks good. It's okay to trade like this. Ideally, you don't want to trade all of your pawns off, but since we have just an absurd lead-in material, I think this is going to be fine. Okay, then we have some check here. Rook over to this side, picking up this pawn. Yeah, so let's do this. Although we need to be a bit careful. Let's capture this pawn. Again, just very simple chess. Not doing anything crazy. Ideally, we can get a trade of rooks. And the more minor pieces we trade down, the better for us. So probably king here. We can give a simple check. Okay, we find the trade. This is the trade we wanted. And now I'm pretty sure we can just try and trade these off. If we trade, we're golden. And if he doesn't take, then we're winning a pawn with check. And we've got these, okay, double passes. So this was a very good game. Let's take a quick analysis. Okay, so this is already very good for black. This is +1. So this is, yeah, -2 for black. And then I play d5, bishop g2 is the only move. We can take on g4, but then again, there are some complications after this, c6, and queen b3 is apparently more precise because they immediately hit this square, to which we'd have to give up the pawn, which isn't amazing in my opinion. So this would happen, knight d7, and then queen takes is a possibility. Rook c8, we get major developments, but again, for what cost? I don't think this is exactly necessary, and I think it's playing into black's, I think it's playing into white's ideas of complicating the position and getting a crazy tactical game. So this was very good. So c6 I like, this is my preference, and it's just a very easy to maintain advantage. h3, nothing special here. e6 was a mistake apparently. Better was to play either h5, which I'm not too thrilled about, or e5. There was also g6, but so the position would look something like d4, e4, stuff like this. But I don't think e6 was that big of a mistake, to be honest. We still have the advantage here for black, so... Okay, knight c3. Followed by bishop d6. We develop, which is an imprecision. So why is this an imprecision? Better was to play here. Followed by knight here. e5. Blocking his bishop, but also blocking our bishop. We've got some very simple development ideas now. Okay, I can see that how this is good. Engine will give then h4, sorry, f4, h5, g5. Yeah, this is a bit too crazy in my mind. We've got some very split and ugly pawns here. We do play d3. C takes just to create this weakness here. Yeah, this is a bit crazy. So I think this is a lot more simpler. And again, I'm not really bothered by playing moves which give up the advantage like this, because all I want to show you guys is that we can play just simple developing moves, following principles. Don't follow the engine line, guys. That's my recommendation. Play what you feel is principled. Like, the engine is a good guide for you, but you shouldn't follow the engine religiously, because all it is numbers and calculations, and that's it. It's not anything close to the human mind and what we can do to form plans and ideas. So I think if we have ideas like these, so you can see e takes is the better move, I think you'll be better off. Queen e2 check was the best, but he doesn't play it. He plays d4, we castle, g5, way too aggressive. This check was correct. Knight blocks, knight h5 very strong, knight e4 okay move. He takes, we take. And then after this move, we can play e3, the key move. So this was really key. Just busting open the position. Bishop takes was a mistake. Rook takes and bishop takes are actually equal in the engine eval, but this was good. This was very good. Queen takes g5. We get a very simple conversion of the position. I'll just skip through this very quickly. You can see we maintain the advantage the whole way through. And then it's still +6. Sure, there were many misses. For example, we were in time pressure, so we were just playing simple chess. There were tons of tactics, of course, but you don't need to calculate them if you have a winning position, which is what I'm trying to get at. So this was a very clean game, I'd say. Even with the blunders and mistakes, we still played a 91% precision game, which was cool. So that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.